TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.
Family, Talk Show Kings coming back at you live at TV 1061 in Douglasville, Georgia. From the onset, we want to give a shout out to our executive producer, Mr. Felix Washington, and our technical producer, Mr. Marcus Givens. Marcus, what's your last name? Givens. Okay, I was right. Another thing, first of all, or secondly, I'd like to give a quick little moment of silence for the victims of the Walmart shooting. Those 20 people didn't deserve that. Okay, thank you for watching, Artie. Thanks for my cousin, Kimberly Tenderoni. Shamika, thank you for watching. Alphonse, thank you for watching. We're going to jump into the subjects. What's our first? Whoa. I didn't introduce my kings. What am I thinking? Okay, my king to the right.
Hassan with y'all today. Pleasure to be here, as always. Thanks for joining us.
Hassan, I don't know what he said after that, but Hassan from Philly.
Ty Carr.
Ty Carr from Boston, Massachusetts. Okay, what's our first subject?
All right, so first one is, do you believe in a supreme God?
Why not? Believe in a supreme being? Why or why not? Either one of y'all want to hit it first?
Let you be the first batter, Doc.
Okay, I do believe in a supreme being because all life comes from something living. I've never seen a stone produce anything alive. So I'm gonna say that, you know, whether when he said be, it was a explosion in chemicals, whether it was whatever. I do believe that there is something that is all knowing because it had to create something when there was absolutely nothing. So it had to be all knowing, it had to be all powerful because again, it created something from nothing. And time is not a factor because it doesn't it doesn't die. So, you know, we keep up with time because we have a certain amount of time before we no longer here on this plane. So
my thing is that before we get into religion, but when people say they don't believe in any God, any higher life form, to me that's crazy.
Why?
Because you can't. How can everything be perfectly? How are we perfectly positioned distance-wise from the sun? Everything's perfect. How we, the atmosphere, how we breathe, how we live, everything that we take in and put out, everything's perfect. But it's just coincidence. It has to be something intelligent.
What's not just perfect about it?
What's perfect about what?
You said everything's perfect. We're exactly from the sun.
So imagine if we were closer to the sun.
Basically, what you're saying if
we were close to the sun, it'd be hotter. If we were further away, it'll be colder.
Right, but we'd die either way.
Not necessarily.
What'd you say?
Not necessarily. What's up, cousin Tay? What's up, Jerry?
No, but seriously, to me, that's just whether or not you are a practicing religious person or whatever. It seems logical that you would have to think that something intelligent created the universe or everything.
Gotcha.
I believe in spirituality. Obviously something had to create what's existing on this earth. I don't think something had to create. Obviously,
According to the Big Bang Theory, I mean there was
scientists.
Exactly. There was. Well, in all actuality, it's not scientifically feasible. The odds of that are so astronomical, it's ridiculous. And then in order to get electricity, you need positive, negative, and a ground.
Right.
If there was no ground, then how can the electricity hit that inner nerd? I'm sorry.
I was saying you turned this into a science show.
Well, my belief in a God is through science. Because again, all life comes from something living. Now, the whole religious aspect we'll get into a little later. What do you guys think? Hey, Tay.
I mean, Albert Einstein, I believe, I'm a paraphrase, but he said something to the effect of, the more I study science, the more I believe in God.
Wow.
Yeah. So, like you said, it's tied in, because a lot of people feel like if you really are into science or you follow that, then you probably lean towards atheism or whatever. And to me, that's not the case. It's a lot of proof. The further we go in science, sometimes it'll prove or it'll lean towards there being a God, not the other way around.
What about agnostic people? People who say, well, I'm not going to say there is a God, but I'm not going to say there isn't a God, just
That's
in
fine.
case so I can get in either way.
I mean, if they say it that way, then obviously they believe in something. And it's spirituality. They're not saying completely, oh well, I don't believe in there's no God, because therefore that would be atheism.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, agnostics say they're not saying it's not a God, they're just not saying that it is. Cuzzo, when you say I agree with you, I'm kind of speculating you talking to me. What's up, Ree? Appreciate you for watching. Cuzzo, when you say I agree with you, you're talking to me, right? What do you mean by I agree with you? Hello, Glennis Ogledez.
that's my godmother,
Oh, what pronounce her name?
Glennis. I can't pronounce the last name.
Okay, well, I'll say Glennis, right?
Mrs. G.
I know there is a God. I just watch how my life is evolving, and I see that my steps are ordered. Kimberly Tenderoni Cersei. All right, Cuzzo, I see you, so you know there is a God.
See,
I ain't
that's the
mad at
thing
you.
with me is that I think it's the way you look at God too. So when I say, some people look at God, I don't look at God as something out there looking down on everybody. I look at God that's within everybody.
Right.
Like we all
We're
are
all
part of
human.
the same creation.
Right.
And to me, it's almost like we're apertures for God to see different perspectives of the universe.
Okay, I went to Georgia Public School. What's an aperture?
Like the light. This is the way he sees stuff is through us,
Gotcha.
each and every one of us, because we're all part of the same thing.
Wow, that's kind of
God.
cool considering all the billions of people on the planet. He got a lot of different viewpoints and
That's
stuff.
what I'm saying. So, but I just don't view God as something outside of myself. I view something within, and that we all share.
That's dope. I like that. My daughter, Kamaya Moore, is watching. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you. You say all life. Cuzzo says all. Cuzzo. Tiante. My family's on here, so I'm saying Cuzzo, and I got 3 cousins on here. But, okay, when I say all life comes from something living, I actually feel like that the black female is the closest thing to God on earth. And people think that when I say the black female, that I'm downing other females. But in my mind, every female is a black female. I feel like the black female was the first human on the planet. I don't believe in Adam and Eve per se. I believe that black female and all life came from her, because if through genetics, through the study of recessive and dominant genes, if there was no black female, then the other ones wouldn't exist. If another one came at first, we wouldn't exist, because you can't get dominant from recessive. So if anybody else except that deep dark chocolate sister was not first, she would never exist.
Okay.
God is
That's
alive
interesting.
and within us all. Okay.
There you go. Who said that?
That's my cousin, Tay.
Okay.
Okay. Tay. Hey, Tay. That's my niece. I appreciate you for watching.
But y'all heard it here first. Every female is a black female. Y'all heard
Yeah,
it down first.
I don't believe in race. I think that race is something that we made so we can say that, this person better than that person, all that kind of BS.
Yeah.
But I think that all of us are black. I say black, but all of us are human.
Right.
I don't think there's a race.
Right. I think all of us are human.
Exactly. All life started in Africa. The oldest bones you find are in Africa. As people went in different areas or whatever, then they started evolving based on, where if it's colder, your skin lightens up, it's not as much sun you getting. So,
Right.
depending on where you are, your features are different. But you're still a part of that genome, a part of that human race that started in Africa. And that's not saying that the people in Africa are better than anybody. I don't think any human is better than the next human.
No, I think I agree with that.
If you ignore those feelings, they disappear. Ignore those feelings. What feelings, Cuzzo?
But so, to go back to the original, do you believe in a supreme God? Yeah, I know I do. But I think mine differs from, like I said before, it differs from a lot of people that I know looking at God from that as a God on the outside rather than me looking at God from within. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And that's the difference between a lot of people that I meet. And
Gotcha.
I think that's, in my opinion, that's kind of a flawed way to look at it, just from my humble opinion, because then you're counting on, there's a time you're going to have to count on yourself, you know, God within yourself. You can't always hope that someone else is going to help you. You got to know that it's within you, and you can do whatever you want to do, whatever you choose to do. It's within you. You just got to have the confidence and
I like that.
yeah. So
I don't know. I'm confused on that one as far as my beliefs. Just being real,
Yeah.
I evolve daily. The person I am today, I might not be tomorrow, because as I learn, I feel like I try to grow and try to use that. So, you know, I try to be stronger all the time.
Well, that's the point of us learning. You know, as we learn, we continue to grow.
Yes, I feel like all that's through God. I mean, I feel like God puts things out there, and if you take it and accept it, cool. If you don't, cool. But like some things people do. The example of the shooting, I just can't imagine how somebody can do that. How can you look at a life, at another human being, and feel like they're not worth life?
see that, and we're gonna get
You
into
know?
that in a little bit. That's more religious based to me. That's where I have the issues. When someone has, like when someone kills or looks down on a group of people or degrades a group of
Exactly.
people because of what God told them or what the Bible told them. The Bible can tell 10 people 10 different things. Obviously, we know that. So when you start treating groups of people the wrong, or you know, negatively.
I was just gonna say, I
Yeah.
can't wait till we get into that topic, because I actually have some things to say about that.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming on. It's coming during this segment, during this show. I'm trying not to go into it because it's stuff I want to say too. It's like I want to bounce to different subjects and whatever. The feelings of what's righteous and those that aren't. I feel you on that. Well, see, that's another reason I never knocked anybody's religion. I'm not the most religious cat on the planet, and I will profess that in a heartbeat. But I never knocked the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the whatever people use for Jah or anything, because it's directions as to how you treat one another.
Right.
So we need a sense of morality. We need some kind of guide as to how a person treats another person. Because in the animal kingdom, the biggest animal, the most strongest animal wins. But people, you know, we're more intellectual. So that makes us more dangerous, because a person without hope is the most dangerous animal on the planet. Right. You know, I mean, a person who has no hope, who has no care of life, he's smart enough to use weapons to, you know, destroy a mass amount, as to where an animal might kill a couple or this, that, and the other, but not
Right.
to the extent that a human will.
Right.
God reveals himself in many ways. I feel you on that. In the case of the killing, we know the devil is also real, and he enters people's mind to steal, kill, and destroy. I don't know if I believe in the devil like that. I believe that people have an innate nature to do bad things. People that are quote unquote good people, if you give them control over people, sometimes they'll do some crazy stuff if they have just complete control of another human. That experiment that was done back in the 70s, where the guy gave these people, put them in jail, and you know the jail was fake, and then he made people over them, and that was fake.
Right.
And then the people who were over them just got sadistic for no reason.
Yeah.
They just turned sadistic, and they
it's
weren't,
just in
you know,
human nature, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think there's a nature that people have, an ego, you know, edging God out, an ego that just makes people act crazy. Y'all sounding real good, Kings. Thank you, Toya Russell. We appreciate you.
Like,
So, what were we just saying? I was going to touch on something you just talked about a minute ago.
God reveals himself in many ways. In the case of killing, how the devil is real and enters people. And then I said I won't knock anybody's religion, because, you know, the different books teach us how to, gives us a guide on how to treat one another.
Right, and when you said God reveals himself in many ways, I think a lot of times we're saying the same thing as each other, but it's semantics. So to me, like when you have that gut feeling that when you have the gut feeling that something's wrong, or that you're about to go down the wrong path, or whatever, something tells you to turn it back. people call that God, Holy Spirit, intuition, whatever it is. It's all the same thing. It doesn't matter what you call it to me.
But some people don't have it. It seems.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
You can have it and ignore it or what or something.
Some
how
people-
can
some
you have
people
it
just-
and molest a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old?
I don't have that.
You know what I'm saying?
But
I'm
it's
not saying
it's not
you.
as strong. No, I know.
But
I'm
how
saying
can
it's
a
not as
person
strong
have it?
in that person,
Uh-huh.
or they ignore it, or whatever it is. It's
Some people just don't have that, like you said, don't have that intuition.
and you don't
Exactly.
know what happened. Like when you're young and things happen to you, that gets ingrained in you. You know what I mean? That's something a lot of people carry their whole life.
Agreed.
So you have
Those
to-
quote unquote family curses, I believe in those
Right.
very strongly.
For sure, man. So you don't know what goes through people's head, how much they, like everybody has a breaking point, you know what I mean? So you don't know what they've been tolerating, what they've been going through. They could have had anything happen.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that they're just ignoring what God is telling them or whatever. It's that this is what they feel like must happen right now to keep their sanity or whatever, to do what they feel is
Wow.
necessary.
I hear you on that one.
Yeah.
Let me get a couple of more comments. My nephew Joel says the experiment was very real and had long-term psychological effects on the participants. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I
and
remember that too.
I remember they was talking about trying to redo it, but with the ethics and things we have now, no way. Shamika, I think God is real, but man make up their own rules as to how and when they want to believe and follow the guide, as you call it. I feel you on that one because most people. Oh, that's another subject that I can't get out. When we go 2 more subjects down, then yeah, we'll get into that, Mika. But you're right, I feel you on that one. People have this thing to where whatever they want to do is supposedly right and of God. Let me get into this comment. Tay says, okay, I got everybody. Yeah, Tay said, oh no, wait, up here. Kim, I'm sorry for ignoring you. I ain't hear you. I think the devil enters weak minds. I feel you on that one, but I don't know. Tay, God is all things come from one source. All things good, bad, or indifference comes to show you how imperfect we are in His goodness and mercy. A computer memory makes up is base. Okay,
On it.
a
It's
computer.
based on the human mind, just like a computer can have corrupt program.
So can the human mind. Got you on that one. And man, I hate to corrupt things, but we got to go to break. Keep talking. Hey, Dolores, thank you for joining us. Dolores Peoples, we see you. Yeah, we coming back.
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Elmer Horn with Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and we're here in one of our communities, and Sheriff Pounds is here with us. And Sheriff Pounds is very involved in his communities, and he come out. We brought out our grill and our smoker so we can come out and help cook for this community. And Sheriff Pounds himself has come out and helped cook with us, and he's here to cook and help these folks today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the programs that I call taking my community back. If you don't get out there and get involved in your community, you ain't gonna be able to get it back. And the sad part about it, we losing our young men at such a pace that it's unreal. We got to come up with something that will help us with these children. Got to. So this is what I'm doing. I love it. I'm out here in the sun. It's hot, but like I said earlier, we're going to do these until we get that gap between law enforcement and the community bridge. We're going to bridge that gap because we're going to get out of here. We're going to shake hands. We're going to find out if they got any kind of problem we can assist them with and invite them to the sheriff's office and come to the roll call. Just come see what's going on at the office. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, Sheriff Pounds. And like I said, this is just one of many events that we bring this grill out to help with our communities and get involved. I'm here.
We were touching on if you believe in a supreme being or God. But we want to give a shout out to Shantae Barksdale, who does our social media. Thank you, Shantae. We appreciate you. Also, I was just made aware that there were 2 mass shootings in a span of 13 hours, 20 on one and 9 on the other. What are we doing? I mean, are we really that hateful toward one another, regardless of what anybody says, the president, the Senate, the Congress, the House, regardless of what any person says, what would make you want to kill another group of people? We're all just trying to make it and try to figure this thing out and be happy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you have it hard or not hard, it really don't matter. Your happiness shouldn't rely on material things, and nobody's trying to hurt you like that. That's crazy.
At the end of the day, we're all human.
Exactly.
We all know how to get along as humans, you know.
What's up? Nice show. Edward Tony Green, thank you for watching. Deborah Warnick Stripling is watching. We appreciate you. What's the next topic?
Do you believe in a supreme God? That we covered that. All right. So, what are your beliefs rooted in? And then, do you believe it holds a monopoly on the truth? Hopefully, that's a no for everybody.
Well, whoa. I doubt that very seriously. Most people do. What is your belief rooted in? Do you believe that your belief, religion, whatever, holds a monopoly on the truth? Like some people say, if you don't believe in Jesus, you're going to hell. Period. That's it. Some people say if you don't believe in Allah, you going to hell. Period. That's it. There's no sideways. There's no God. To me, it's like, what makes anybody's God any more superior than the next person's God?
Right.
You know, I mean, if I'm in Asia and they're studying the yin and the yang, what makes their belief any more, you know, not true than mine? What makes mine
Man,
over
religion,
theirs?
I tell you what, man.
And then how many people have been killed over religion?
Yeah, religion is like, to me, I can sum up the way I try to live the best I can. Religion, philosophy, philosophically, whatever. Just don't be a jerk to people. I was gonna say something else.
Don't be a dick.
Just do the right thing. It's really not that hard to treat people in a reasonably good way.
I feel like the only thing you
I must be
owe
missing
another
something.
person is love and respect. And when I say love, I don't mean you got to go up and hug nobody or nothing like that.
Right.
But I mean, if you're not bothering me and you're not breaking the law, I'll leave you alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if I see you and I speak, that's cool. But if I don't speak,
People are
that's
so
cool.
worried about what other people like.
Exactly.
Why would I worry about another grown person believes?
Because
Why is that
that's so big, it's ridiculous. You know how many people will try to convert you and tell you if you don't believe it, if they do, you're
Right.
going to hell. Like you, for the simple reason that they believe one way and you believe another, the rest of eternity, you're going to suffer. And they're not.
That's another. I'm not even getting. Into that.
And they're not.
That's- yeah.
Yeah. Any comments, bro?
I was gonna say that usually comes from, you know, older Christianity people. You know, they.
You
try
must
to-
not talk to many people of many different religions, because every religion.
Oh no,
that
no,
I-
no! I'm not saying. I'm not saying it's just that one particular religion. No, I know it's other religions
Oh, yes.
that try to get you to convert and
Oh, yeah.
But does anybody stop and think like, all right, so there's, millions, billions, whatever of
people.
Muslims,
Exactly.
millions of hundreds of millions of Christians, Judaism, Buddhism, whatever,
Hinduism,
millions of people.
uh-huh.
Hinduism. Does anybody ever stop and think, wait a minute? Everybody can't be exactly 100% right. Maybe we're all kind of mixed in, and there's a common God that we share that we all come from. Nobody
feel
thinks
you
about
on
that.
I feel you on that.
It's only this, or you're going to hell.
The Native Americans feel, they have a certain deity they worship, or deities.
Right.
What makes ours so much better than theirs? And then think of all the atrocities people commit in the name of these religions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then for people to say just when they think Muslim, they think terrorist. That is the most
That's the
absurd
dumbest
thing
thing.
on the. There are
That's when-
billions of Muslims.
Right, that's when Trump said he wanted to.
The Muslim ban,
Yeah, Muslim ban. That's a religion. You can't say that.
right.
But I'm trying to say, okay, if 1 point whatever or 2 billion people all were terrorists,
Right.
the world would be on fire. I mean, it would be. I mean,
It would have burned down by now.
exactly. It'd be bombs every other day. A billion people.
Right.
2 billion motherfuckers all on strap a bomb to their back and walk. Man, come on.
Man.
Come on.
But that's what I'm
Seriously.
saying. There's people like I'll browse through Facebook a lot more now than I used to. I used to not even be on Facebook, but and you'll read something and it'll be like something about Muslims, like Muslims is just a terrorist group.
Exactly.
It's a complete religion. Like you can't. That's just like saying all Christians anytime somebody Christian does something, oh, those crazy Christians. It's not that. It's that person.
Right.
Well, when Christians do something, it's let's pray. When somebody, if a Muslim do something, then we need a Muslim ban. If a Hispanic person does something, we need to deport them.
yeah.
If a black person do something, then we need to build jails. If a white Christian does something, we need to everybody let's pray. Let's get on some of these comments. I, like most people, were taught by my parents to believe in God. When I got older and wiser, I researched and expanded my knowledge. Google what the Bible says about religion, and you'll find several scriptures that tell you your faith should be blind and not influenced by man. I feel you on that, Artie. Now, I hadn't seen those scriptures, but
see, a lot of people take just that. Who said that?
Arthur Johnson, that's a friend of mine.
So what he just said, people can take that and run 100 different ways with it. When it says faith should be blind, like I read that and hear that, and I think it should be blind, meaning you shouldn't let anything shake your confidence in what you're doing. You should have a focus and believe in yourself, believe in the God within you, and do it because you know you can do it. A lot of people say that and say faith should be, or what was it? Faith should be blind.
Should be blind,
meaning that you should follow the Bible and don't listen to anything else.
Listen or look at nothing else.
That way. So people can take things totally different ways.
Yeah, my cousin
Same
agreed
words.
with you, Kimberly, Tender on the Church. She says she agreed with his son. James C. Johnson, what up, though, from Detroit? Hey, thank you, Detroit, for tuning in, bro. Let folks know about us up there. We appreciate you. Yeah, I need you to talk, bro. Come on, say something. I'm throwing you on the spot. I'm throwing you on the bus. Yeah, exactly. Testing, 1, 2.
I mean, as far as
I done threw you on the spot. Check this out, though. Check this out. Okay, when you have Gandhi, didn't Gandhi practice Hinduism?
I believe that was it. Yeah.
Gandhi led millions of people peacefully. You have MLK, who was a Baptist minister. He led millions of people peacefully. You had Million Man March. Farrakhan. Farrakhan. When those million people went to D.C.,
right.
the first day, they cleaned up the city. Okay? That's 3 different religions leading large amounts of people peacefully trying to find a way to be peaceful.
Right.
How can I say either one of them was wrong? Exactly. Who am I to say that? You know, who am I to pass judgment on that kind of thing?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean...
But that's the thing, and religion is, it's to me, when you have too much of when you have organized religion, you run the risk of having corrupt people within that, obviously.
Exactly.
So to me, it's the person, it's the people that are running it. That's the issue. It's not the religion itself. Itself.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because the Bible ain't never raped nobody.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
But that motherfucker in the clergy uniform, you know, I'm just saying.
Right.
My thing is, first of all, you shouldn't trust anybody with your kids. Take care of our women and children. I say that every show, and I'm going to keep saying it until I'm no longer able to speak. And then I'm a sign language. Take care of our women and children. But we got to take care of our women and children. And in that, then you don't give somebody who can't protect themselves, you don't put them under the authority of somebody who you don't absolutely know. And you make sure that you're talking with that kid,
right.
You know, before, during, after that time, because, yeah.
And to me, that a lot of it is going back to what I said about the person that's in charge. A lot of times people join or try to get to the head of religion for control reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and then to me, that's just crazy. Nullifies the rest of what they're trying to do, because you're trying to control a mass of people by what you say, and trying to manipulate them to think a certain way and all that. And that's not the freedom that it was created to have.
I don't know how many people were killed during Hitler's regime, but I know Hitler didn't kill all of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The religious guy, the guy who took the people to the island, saying that they were going to have an island, everybody was going to pray, and they were going to raise their own food, and then had all of them drink poison, talking about he was going to resurrect them, and all the
cult dude,
yeah. And they have all these different cults. The dude who was up there having women kill other women and cut the babies out their stomach and all that. The little dorky dude with the glasses, throw the Volkswagen Bug.
I ain't heard about it.
Yeah, you heard about it. Trust me, he's extremely popular. I just can't think of the dude's name.
I know you're talking.
But yeah, I mean, man, I'm loving this discussion. Before us as black folks had Christianity thrust upon us, what was our spiritual practice? We had spirituality. We were connected to a higher power so we were native Indians of this country. Ha! We're going to have to get on that one. You know some of Little Cyrus. That's my nephew. We knew that Jesus was a Jew, so now we have Christianity. Blind faith based on what is taught or read solely is dangerous. Got you. The people who are negative and adhere to the negative powers and principalities and principalities at B prey upon the masses want to be meek and sheep-like. We can still be religious, spiritual people and strong, not pushovers. I feel you on that one. Jim Jones, thank you. Jim Jones, that's the person I was talking about.
So, but along those lines, it's like those people are trying to control, and we have to evolve, just like anything else in the world. We have to evolve. So we went to church pretty regularly when I was a kid, and I thought certain ways about, I just listened to what they were saying and like, okay, that's how you're supposed to believe. But as you get older, you start to experience life outside of church and outside of your family and all that, and you're like, man, some of that stuff didn't make sense. So you change your perspective and you start to evolve what you believe. And I think a lot of people don't do that. I think they just have blind faith or blind belief in what they see or read or came up hearing. And then by the time they get to be a grown up, it's too late for them to change because it's set in their ways. You know what I mean?
I was fortunate and unfortunate that I was not raised in church. Like I remember, they lined people up, and Reverend Barbara King, she was over there on Cascade. She was putting oil on her hands. She said it was the blood of Jesus, and she was putting little crosses on people's head. I started crying. I didn't want to get in line. I didn't want nobody rubbing no blood on my forehead because I took it literally. You know what I'm saying? I was not raised in church. So they talking about the blood of Jesus. I don't want nobody blood on me. I don't
think like, man, he's been dead a long time. How do they still have his blood?
I was a kid. I didn't think like that. No, I thought they would put the blood on my forehead. No, I ain't with it. And my grandma was not happy about that at all.
But there's adults that think that's pretty literal like that too. Maybe not, they don't believe that's his blood. Maybe they do. I don't know.
I don't know, but I know you would.
People that take everything so literal, and that can be dangerous. You know what I mean? As you get older, that can be dangerous to believe that kind of stuff. That's all.
I had one ex-girlfriend. Her mom used to do stuff like, walk out the house or whatever, put the little stuff on her forehead.
The virgin baby oil. I mean, virgin olive oil. They bless it. They pray over it first, and then,
Yeah, I mean, people. Hey, I'm not gonna call anybody weird, but some of that stuff is weird.
Well, weird is just like you were saying earlier, it's a matter of semantics. It's a point of view kind of thing.
It is.
Because, people pray to the east 5 times a day at a certain time. Although I think it's cool, it's weird to me. Yeah. I mean, I just don't get it. I don't.
Yeah, it's all.
I ain't mad at nobody for what you do. If that helps you find peace and serenity within yourself, handle it.
Yeah, I don't knock people for their
exactly.
Yeah, I don't knock people for their religions or anything like that.
Exactly.
Right, because there's just the craziest stories in the Bible, Quran, Torah. They all have, you know what I mean? There's a lot of stories that you're like, what? And people believe it. So I mean, there's none that are more believable than the next.
And my silliness, when they were talking about Peter stepping out the boat onto the water.
Yeah.
I was dying laughing because I'm thinking, okay, I know the rest of the people in the boat like, you ain't know Jesus, step your butt out there, you want too hard. When you go drown, don't call my name, I'm gonna be up there laughing at you. So
actually don't do nothing.
Because I know that try to walk on the water. See, I'm gonna be snapping the whole time. If you start drowning, don't call me, bro, because I'm in the video this, because now I got a camera. Why did your head drown stepping in the water? But that's just how I think. Maybe I shouldn't, joke about religion, but it's the truth.
It's okay to joke about religion.
And then there was a story where this guy in the Bible, where this guy went upstairs and went to sleep because the pastor thing was too long, the sermon was too long. And then he fell asleep and fell out the window, and they thought he was dead. What? Man, I was dying laughing when the pastor was talking about it. I was dying laughing. I read about
the window.
Yes, he went upstairs. The service was too long, so the guy went upstairs, sat by the window, went to sleep, and fell. And they thought he was dead. And man, when I tell you, I was laughing so hard.
Somebody pushed that man out the window.
No, well, I don't know. He was asleep though. The story in the Bible, he was asleep. And yeah, he fell. So I mean, yeah, no one should be able to be your leader from reading a book that you can read yourself. A preacher's interpretation doesn't have to be your comprehension. I feel you on that, but so many people follow that. I mean, a lot of times a dynamic speaker can say the dumbest shit on can say some stuff that don't make sense. Father, I'm trying to figure a good way to word this. A person can speak dynamically and persuade people, even though what they're saying really makes no
Of course,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah. In my opinion,
There's somebody.
I am
in the
a
White-
humongous fan of Minister Farrakhan. I really am. I mean, the guy says some stuff, and it's because he makes me think with some of the stuff that he says. But to me, to say a whole group of people is evil is crazy. I mean, that my thought process cannot grasp that.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
can't say that everybody with a certain pigmentation is this. Because
Right.
I know a bunch of black people who, yeah, they ain't coming to my house.
Right.
You know, yeah, I'm not giving my address. I can't see it. You know what I'm saying?
Most black people I know ain't coming to my house.
But you get what I'm saying. You get the point. I mean, I'm not. Yeah.
But but there's somebody in the White House. I forget his name. He's in there now that says a lot of dumb stuff that people
The
follow.
orange-haired jackass.
Yeah,
I know
I
exactly who
forget
you're
his
talking
name.
about. I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
But
and
yeah,
he
if-
stokes
if
a
you-
bunch
if
of
you
stuff.
believe-
I don't know about the guy in Ohio, but I know the guy who did at Walmart.
Right,
He
yeah.
had his manifesto, praising a certain person.
That proves that if you believe in somebody, or you believe they're going to be your leader or whatever, once you put your faith, your trust in that person, they can say all the dumb shit they want to say,
Boom.
and you're going to believe it because you're starting to believe whatever they say. Just like him, he doesn't believe all the stuff he says, but he knows it works, so he keeps saying it.
Exactly. And then, if I'm not mistaken, if you're reading this book, you're supposed to believe in God, not the person who's reading the book talking to you about it. You're not. I mean, if I started reading the scripture, I might have the most fascinating interpretation of it, of how I see it. But if you believe that I'm some kind of deity, you're mistaken. Trust me. I'm just as normal or just as effed up as the next
I was gonna
human
say,
being.
human as the next
I don't feel
person.
like any person is above the next person.
Right.
You put a jackass in a uniform, he's still a jackass. He just in a uniform now. He has his beliefs, his whatever, all that stuff in uniform.
Yeah, and there's people that join the church and try to move ahead in the church because they
Yes,
want
because
power.
they see that power.
Right. If
They
you-
see
if
that.
that's- if
Yeah.
that's- you're the person that's not qualified for that. If that's what you want to, you know
Exactly.
what I mean, that's who I don't want leading.
I mean,
church.
I have respect for ministers, who are out there trying to do the right thing,
Right.
because a lot of them are really trying to help people. And I can't knock anybody who's trying to help somebody.
course not.
I don't think LeBron James is the best basketball player on the planet. But
not.
human being, the brother is, to do all the stuff that he does for people, I'm not going to exalt him.
Side
You know
note,
what I'm
though,
saying?
side note, who's better than LeBron James?
Are you serious?
That's playing right now.
That's playing right now. That's playing right now.
Yeah, you said he's not the best basketball player on the planet.
I said ever played.
Oh,
Steph Curry,
I
in
thought
my
you said-
opinion, is better than LeBron James.
I almost threw this phone at you.
And I almost said ouch, and you're on TV, so I'm going to press charges. And we're finna press the pause button because we got to go to break. But we be back. Hey, let me know what you're thinking.
Are you an artist, a writer of spoken word? Do you have content ready but need exposure? Get to know me. I'm Alicia, host of a new Facebook live stream show called The Flavor, where we promote local and international talent of all genres. Here are some rules and regulations to the videos that we'll be accepting. They must be radio ready, no cursing, no lewd language. You must send us contact information as well as a YouTube link to your video so we can extract it from there. Email us at 1061tv@gmail.com, and we thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Harry Lennox, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network.
Hi, this is Bill Duke, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network.
Hey.
On the rough side. Oh, wait, we back. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Welcome back to Talk Show Kings, family. Coming at you having big fun from TV 1061 in Douglasville, Georgia. I want to give a shout out to our executive producer, Mr. Felix Washington, and Mr. Marcus Givens. Mr. Marcus Givens is our technical director. We got a dude who played the bass for the Fabulous Dramatics. I'm a huge music buff. I love music. So I want to definitely give a shout out to T Green, who hollers from Detroit. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the music you made all those years. You know what I'm saying? I loved it. Back to what's the third suggestion?
All right, so we're going into sticking with religion the whole show. Obviously, do people attend religious ceremonies to condemn people for doing the same thing they do outside of those ceremonies? That's a deep topic.
If you don't get what I'm saying with that,
that's a deep topic.
we saying that people go into church on Sunday and, you know, run around the church and say hallelujah and tell the pastor amen and all this stuff. The pastor got spackle in his throat because he's trying to clear it every time he say something. But people go in there and they say, you know, well, people who drink going to hell, people who obese going to hell, people who sin going to hell. Right. But we all sinners. When they leave that church, a lot of them go to restaurants and eat like food going out of style.
Yeah, and they still got the little wristband from the club last night.
Some of them think out the club still smell the lick on their breath.
Right, they forgot to take that off.
Yeah, exactly. But they want to condemn people. And it's not just the church. It's, you know, I mean, I've seen people who are Muslim, and Muslim, if I'm not mistaken, not supposed to drink alcohol. I've seen some of them, you know, get lit. I'm just saying, just being real.
I know a few.
Joel Payne said something. Read it for me, please, King.
Who?
Joel Payne.
Oh. What's it?
Come on now.
Where they live? Nah, I don't see that. Oh. Come on now. Some people have weak minds and idolize certain people and will act on these people's words, just like in many cults of time past. Hitler got a whole nation to execute masses of another race on his word and ideology. These mass shootings and all that we are seeing now is not a surprise. Got many folks who used to hold a certain level of influence and people who are very threatened right now and are in a panic, as it has been taught in any animal that is backed into a corner is a dangerous animal when cornered.
Yeah, he's saying that, you know, people, when you back people in, they start feel threatened, they're going to come out fighting. Yep. Because very few people just going to sit and let some abuse keep happening. Like I said, there are many different races or many different creeds and colors and everything else of illegal people in the U.S. Right. So why are only Spanish-speaking people in these concentration camps? Why is there a war against Hispanics? You know, I mean, to me, if you're talking about illegal immigration, then talk about all illegal immigration.
Yeah, that bothers me too when people try to deflect that. A lot of this, most of it is about race. And they're like, oh, it's about, like even in politics, like, oh, this person believes that, and a lot of it is just about race. There's a lot of people that still have a problem with black and brown people getting ahead, holding any power positions and all that. So, I mean, it's...
But see, to me, it makes the most sense to have communities prosperous because that stimulates the whole economy. I mean, right. If this pocket of people are broke, then what happens to that whole community goes down. I mean, you can't get tax money from somebody who don't have money, you know? Right. Artie says, power has always shown to corrupt people. When so-called religious leaders receive this power from people who blindly follow them, they start viewing themselves as a deity. Exactly. Such as the case with Jim Jones and others like him. Yeah, I saw a dude say he was Yahweh back in the day. Shamika White, they condemn people in church and cover it with an amen. I feel you on that one. Alphonse Johnson, I believe we all have the power of God within us. Isan. Yeah. In the Bible, God didn't split the sea for Moses. Moses stretched his own staff and spoke his own words. Now, Alphonse, I don't know where that came from, but I can walk up to the sea with a stick and hold my arms out. But, you know, if you believe that it actually happened, cool. If you don't believe that it actually happened. But I know that I don't have power to speak to the water and make it part. You know, I mean.
Maybe you do. Maybe you just don't believe it.
Gotcha. I don't believe it.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you don't have it.
I can live with that. Believe it and let's see you go ahead and handle it.
I didn't say I believe it.
No, I'm saying you should believe it, and then we'll follow you down there.
Here's the thing. So, so you believe that we all have the same God within us, right? Do you believe that?
Everybody's connected to God. I don't necessarily say we have him in us.
Right.
Yeah. Because see, with religion the way it is, to me it takes away the idea of free choice.
Every religion is different.
I'm not talking about religion on that part. I'm talking about, I believe that we all come from the same source,
Okay, gotcha.
and we all have the same source energy, however we choose to use it. That's
I
the way
feel you on that one. Okay.
So people direct it in different ways. But if somebody believes, if there's a guy with, I don't know, no legs that believes he can jump onto that table, somehow get up to that table, and there's one with no legs that doesn't believe it, they're both right. He's going to find a way to do it, and the other one's going to find a way not to do it.
I
So
feel
whatever
that
you
one.
believe you can do, you can do it. That's the way I feel.
Well,
As people limit themselves and call it religion, call it disability, call it,
I hear
poverty,
you.
whatever it is.
I hear you, but to me, some things just aren't feasible. Like, I believe that I can jump off the Peachtree Plaza, the Weston or whatever it's called now.
Right.
I know I can, but that sudden stop when I get to the ground is going to be detrimental.
Right.
Now, I can believe whatever I want to about that stop, but I guarantee when I hit the ground,
There's limits. There's limits, right? There's logical limits, but I'm just saying, in general, people accomplish what they believe they can accomplish, and that's.
I can feel that
Yeah.
because people are imaginative creatures,
Right.
and the things that we do today in olden times, they would see that as magic. you know?
Exactly.
I
Like,
mean,
yeah, 100 years ago, if you told them, we'd be
Exactly.
watching somebody on the phone, all the
Exactly.
stuff
I'll be
you do now,
talking to
they think
somebody in
you're
a whole
crazy.
nother place
Right.
with
They
my
think you're crazy. So it's perspective, and it's.
Melvin Lundy. Christianity and the life of the believers are the key
I know him.
to having a successful relationship with the God you serve. Minister Lundy, Talk Show Kings. Minister Lundy, I was so disappointed when I found out that you were ill today and weren't going to be here. I really wanted you here for this show. Christianity is in the life of the believers are the key to having a successful relationship with the God you serve. I feel you on that, although I'm not quite 100% understanding it. If a person believes in Christianity, then their practice is what keeps them connected to their aspect of God. If that's what you're saying, then I can feel that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Faith has been proven to perform miracles. A friend of mine, I don't know say his name, but I was in the military with, his sister was born blind on one of her birthdays. She woke up and could see. There was no surgery, there was no anything. She woke up and she could see. I wouldn't call that, any deity or whatever did it.
Yeah.
It happened. There was a girl who couldn't walk. She fell off of something, jarred her spine, and now she walks fine. I mean,
But
the
and
resilience
again,
of the human body is whatever. You can, give credit to whatever you want to. I don't have a problem with
I
it.
believe that that's faith, but not like not like from religion. Like I believe, it happened because obviously, through faith. But just not like as far as religion.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And as far as miracles, though, again, if you think back to 60, 70, 80 years ago, whatever, think about LASIK surgery. Like I got LASIK surgery some years ago. And think about that if you told somebody that 60, 70 years ago.
I feel you go.
And they'd be like, that'd be a miracle.
They call you witchcraft or
Right.
something.
But now it takes, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever it is. And you fix your eyes. You can go from not blind, but from seeing very poorly to seeing perfectly.
Yeah, I needed a stick and a dog, and now I have better than 20/20.
Yeah.
A doctor gave to aspirin to cancer patients, told them it was a new cancer curing medicine.
Yep.
People were unexplainably healed of cancer. I feel you on that one. And
placebo's
again,
a
I think
strong
it's that
thing,
human.
bro.
Yeah, I think it's that human mind. And then Dr. Sibo,
Oh, yeah.
doctor who they killed, well, they wouldn't let him eat like he was. He said if you alkaline your body, you can't get cancer. You won't get sick, period. This man was 80-something years old and had a baby by a 20-year-old. And, that's unheard of. Most 80-year-olds are impotent, just being realistic, without some kind of form of medicine.
Right.
This man had a baby with a 20-year-old, and he was just saying it's due to his diet. But because he didn't go to med school, then, they said he couldn't be called a doctor initially. And they took him to court, told him to bring 3 people he had healed. When the 40-something people came in who he had actually healed, they left him alone. Mind over matter.
Yeah,
I feel you on that,
I
Audie.
was gonna read that.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
I feel you on that one, Audie. Dr. Setsi. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Sebi?
Seb C. Yeah. I was told that, you know, Nipsey was about to do a...
Dr. Sebi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I say Sebi too.
Yeah.
But I was told Nipsey was about to do a special on him.
Right. Yeah.
Before he
that
passed.
was kind of intertwined with his.
Yeah,
awesome
exactly. And
moment
I know
for
Left
his-
Eye definitely believed in him strongly.
Yep. It's crazy, man. But it is. It's the power of the human mind. Belief, like that placebo, the pill. That's powerful, man. I've read a lot of stuff about that. You think something's happened to you, and it is. Just like hypochondriacs. People that think they're going to get sick because of stuff,
And they end up sick.
getting sick. It happens all the time.
Think of all the inventions we have. If a lot of the things on the Jetsons are true now, that we actually have flying cars now. Right. We actually can look at a monitor and look at somebody and talk to them. You remember George Jetson would be sitting on his computer, and it was, you know, the future in space and this, that, and the other.
Right.
Wasn't no minorities in it either.
Right.
But
a little scary, but go on.
But you know, what we think, what we imagine, then we do. We make it happen.
Right.
So, you know, sky's the limit.
And that's, to me, that imagination, that's God.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I think God puts it out there, and for us to grasp, and whomever grasps it, move forward with it.
Right. Agreed, man. That's
Yeah.
powerful stuff.
And when we're talking about religious people, like the pastors that were not pastors, the clergymen, the guys who were molesting the little boys.
Yeah.
And that's turning out to be this humongous scandal, and find out other ministers knew about it and didn't say anything.
Yep.
If you're a father and you send your son down to be an altar boy, how do you feel now? You know what I'm saying? If you're a mother, how do you feel now? Because you're sending your son to learn more about God, to learn more about the ultimate being of peace and good. And now you find out that this sick person has been touching on him. How do you feel? You know? And then, it's crazy.
I had a family member that went through that when we were younger. They got touched by a minister. And it was actually the minister or whatever was my family member's stepfather.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they still have issues with that now?
My family member?
As far as mental, like, you know.
Did it ever go to like a jail, a criminal case and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when stuff like that happens, people just want to kind of forget about it. Like they want to take care of it themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just like, you remember Joe Paterno from Penn State?
Yeah, exactly.
And,
do you know he died shortly after that?
Yeah. I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
What was the dude's name? He had a name.
Yeah, one of his coaching staffs.
He had the same name.
But I know who you're talking about. One I remember to tell us in a minute.
Yeah.
Minister Lundy or King Lundy. You all are doing an exceptional job with letting the people know that true religion is the blessings achieved through your faith and beliefs. You can taste success, but don't swallow it. You become full of yourself if you do. I feel you on that one. Hey, my sister watching. Brittany, much love, and I'm wishing you a blessing. The main topic was people going into church, praying, or condemning the people that's doing the same thing they're doing outside the church. Once upon a time, believe it or not, I was a deacon. I was a Sunday school teacher.
I choose not. I choose not to believe that.
But I remember I was on base in the store, and a couple of friends of mine who were in church, and they were those, highly religious people. You say anything, and they say, "Excuses died on the cross," in a heartbeat. But I walk in there, they had to register with their alcohol. Really? Now you are these people who telling everybody else that if they breathe wrong, they going to hell.
Right.
But
that's the main issue I have with organized religion in general. Is that you condemn other people for not believing exactly what you believe. Exactly. And that's crazy to me. It's like, practice what you practice, believe what you believe, but live and let live. Let them do what they're doing. If they believe something totally different from you, pray for them if that's what you do, and then keep moving.
In the context that you're not hurting anybody else. In the context that
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have a few family members. I don't really mess around with them like that, but they'll do stuff like that. Like they'll go to church. They'll all this stuff, and as soon as they leave church, they back cursing. They back doing all this violent, talking all this violent crap, and and you're like, He was just in
Exactly.
church, like,
You
Exactly.
can still see the church
Have you-
driving down the street.
Have you ever heard a lady tell their child something like, I just left, don't make me beat your ass in this church? Like, beat your ass in this church? Ain't that kind of, don't make me spank you. Don't make me discipline you.
Get your point across.
Exactly. But aren't
No,
you
I've
supposed
seen
to not
somebody-
talk like that in church?
I've seen so many kids get whoopings in the bathroom in
Oh,
church.
yes,
man.
bathroom. My grandma whooped me right down the pew. What we need to go to the bathroom for? Wherever the devil show up, that's when you beat the devil out. She was playing no game. No games. She ain't play that mess. But, like, I didn't go to church but a few times, so I wasn't acclimated to it at all. I remember asking my grandmama, rest in peace, my grandma Sally Long, can we just give them the money now so we can leave? I was dead ass serious. I thought that we went there to put the money in the little thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You thought it was over once
Yes.
you gave money?
Can we go ahead and put the money in the thing so we can leave? Yeah.
He's like, can we just mail him the money?
That backhand pop. Don't even break her stride. As soon as very soon pop. one plan, no game. But I didn't know. I wasn't raised in church. Sunday morning for me, my daddy, mom played the Isley Brothers.
Georgia. I thought you get locked up if you don't raise your kids in church.
Gotcha. Well, my parents should have been locked up. Yeah, 'cause my parents on the weekends, you wake up and you hear the Isley Brothers or the Ohio Players or something. It's time to get up and clean something. That's how I know all them. I love Temptation to this day.
You rather get up and clean than go to church, huh?
That wasn't an option.
No,
It
I'm
wasn't
saying
like you
that-
could get
that's
up.
what I'm saying, but you would.
No,
glad it
well,
was that way?
I don't
Rather than
know.
going to church?
I'm kind of glad now because it made me more open-minded. It's not to where I feel like if you don't believe in Jesus the way everybody else do,
And that's the
then you're
dangerous thing
going to
about
hell.
raising kids early because it gets
Yeah.
in their head, and then they close off every other suggestion.
When my oldest daughter was born, that's when I really went to church and really became a deacon, and I didn't curse at all, believe it or not. I didn't, I tried to calm down some of my anger, even though it just manifested with me being polite and telling you I whoop your ass.
Deacon down.
Exactly.
Reverend Brother Pastor.
Teaching Sunday school. Imagine me teaching. Yeah, exactly. But when my daughter was born, it made me want to be so much of a better person. I didn't want her to see any of the stuff that I had seen.
Right.
My dad was like, it's stuff that happens to your kid that you're not even around. You don't want it to happen, but you're not even around when it does. And I was so unwilling to accept that mindset, and even though it was the truth,
Right.
But yeah, I wanted to be a better person, so I just stopped everything and really got hard in religion. And after
How long
countless,
did that last?
about 4 years, 5 years.
Okay. That's a good stretch, man.
After countless seeing people doing things, saying one thing, and then doing another, it just made me like bounce.
Right.
It made me go back to how I was.
Yeah.
Now we got to go back to break, and we'll be back. Keep talking to us. I saw your comment, Joe, and we're going to have King Tykar read it in just a minute.
One of our community outreach days with our sound truck, and our sound truck is used for just what you see. We come out to community days, we play loud music, and be able to just have a good time with it and enjoy our community. Our sheriff's office, you get to see us in a little different light. We're not always out there writing tickets or locking people up. We come out to your community day and be a part of your day and help you celebrate your community. And this is just one of the ways that we can do that, was with our sound truck. We're here today in one of our communities. We brought our ice cream truck out. A lot of people like to laugh when I say the sheriff's office owns an ice cream truck, but this is exactly what it's for, is we bring it out to our communities. We give away ice cream. We don't charge for the ice cream. The ice cream is free. And we have partners in our businesses in our community that help pay for the ice cream so that we can give it away for free. And we give it away. We go to schools. This is just one of many events that we bring our ice cream truck to. We go to the school systems. We come out to community days, block parties. We just come out and see you and help you enjoy and celebrate your community. Thank you.
to that same old place that we laughed about. Hey, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for watching. We've come to the last episode or segment of this episode, rather, of Talk Show Kings. Before we go into our last topic, we're going to have Brother King Takar. Go ahead and...
Joe said, I cannot go to church and then turn around, come out and try to tell anyone that this great of a sinner when I know some things I am doing well, but some things I know for a fact I got a first class ticket to hell. I am a work in progress, as are most of us. Some people will come to the Lord in throne time. When life brings us to our knees, we tend to find salvation, or we revert to what is at our core belief.
But see, that is an internal thing, because all of us are imperfectly perfected.
Right.
All of us are a work in progress.
Right.
But what are you trying to progress to?
Right.
You know, if you feel that you are the best you possible, then you're missing something, because you can always better yourself. And that's how you make the world a better place, because you can't change nobody. I can talk to his son all day, but if his son don't want to change, or he feel like I'm talking nonsense, he gonna do his son. Mm-hmm. You know? you feel what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Exactly. What's the last topic?
All right, so basically we already kind of got into it, but officially it was, do you believe that anyone that doesn't believe the same as you will be sent to eternal suffering?
Yeah, so
I mean, we kind of touched on it, but I mean, to me, it's like, that's another one of those harsh things. It's like, really, if you believe in God, if you're a religious person, you believe in God, do you believe that your God is that? To me, that's kind of petty for God to be like, if you don't do what I say do, you're gonna be in hell forever. Like that's a harsh.
You're gonna suffer forever.
That's a harsh.
To me, the whole concept of hell is kind of messed up.
You don't believe exactly as they say. Yeah.
Like I said earlier, every religion is different. Mm-hmm. Like, everybody has their own different beliefs and what they believe in and how they choose to believe in it. Like, but at the end of the day, we're all human. We're all, we're all human at the end of the day. Like,
it's hard for me to follow some kind of religions at times, because I can't imagine, like, when people say that God wants you to come up to heaven and praise him for all eternity. Who would want you around him kissing his ass all day, every day for eternity?
Right.
I mean, come on, that would mean God have this hell of an ego. I mean, really,
that's
God, the Almighty, wants you,
exactly.
Your little pitiful soul, to kiss his ass all day, every day. God, you're so wonderful. God, you're so pitiful. I mean, you're so beautiful. You're so this, that, and the other. Seriously?
That
would annoy the shit out of anybody.
That's a petty quality for a God to have.
Who would want somebody to be around him like that?
Right.
I mean, even if you in love with a human, if you in love with a man or a woman, try telling them every day, all day, how beautiful and wonderful and magnificent they are. Right. See what happens. They're going to lose all kind of respect for you, and yeah, it ain't going to be about nothing. I'm just being real. You got to have some sense of backbone. You got to have some sense of conversation, some sense of equality. If you just feel like you're nothing, and they want you to feel like you're nothing, first of all, they want you to feel like you're nothing. They're probably going to be up there whooping your ass some kind of way, mentally or physically or something, because, nobody wants somebody around them to just constantly kiss their ass. That just don't make sense to me.
I'm with you, man. It's crazy. But people believe that, man. People believe that if you don't do what the Bible says while you're alive on earth, then you're going to suffer for eternity. Eternity is a long. I can see they said for 5 years.
That's a long time. A bunch of Saint Martin Luther started the Lutheran Church because everything was Catholic at first, right?
Right.
Then Catholics started saying, well, when you die, you either go to heaven, hell, or the purgatory. Purgatory, your people kind of lost. They ain't going to heaven or hell. So the Catholics started selling people tickets to get people out of purgatory. And St. Martin Luther was like, that's some bull. That ain't right. Yeah. So he came out with the Lutheran Church, and then, different branches of church. Yeah, selling tickets to get out of purgatory.
How much money they make on that?
A lot.
They have scalpers like on the corners.
Think about it though.
I got them purgatory tickets.
If people really believe that, your family member just floating around there, a ghost or a spirit or something, because they can't get to heaven or hell. People want to get their people out.
Hey, you trying to get out of purgatory? $20.
Hey, I got you.
But yeah, I mean, but that's the
No
thing, people
disrespect to anybody.
No,
Hey,
no,
if you feel disrespected, please let me know. I'm not gonna change the way I talk, but you please let me know how you feel about it. I would like to know. I mean, you can disagree with me totally, and I'm not gonna feel any kind of way. I want to know how you feel.
Right.
I mean, whether you agree or disagree, just
But that's
talk to
the
me.
thing, people grow up and it's ingrained in them for 20, 30, 40 years.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they believe. That's just what they
Exactly.
believe. That's why, like you said, I'm glad that I had the opportunity to kind of branch out, see, experience different things and all that, and then form my own perspective, form my own opinion about it. Because if you don't, you get rigid and all that stuff. You don't want to hear anybody else's logic or anything. You believe what you believe, and that's it for the rest of your life.
The military taught me something because the military was a culture shock. First of all, I moved to Lithonia when I was in like the 11th and a half grade, and I was like, who let all the white people out the TV? Because they weren't there in the inner city of Atlanta. So that was a culture shock, but it was cool talking to them and getting different perspectives, even though I still had that prejudiced mindset. But when I went to the military and really got around different, groups of people, I mean, it's a bunch of BS, In essence, everybody wants to get through this nonsense we call life happily. Right. Ain't nobody care what you wear and how you look and this, that. I'm trying to eat. Right. I'm trying to get with a female. I'm trying to laugh as much as possible. I'm trying to enjoy myself. Right. I mean, that's everybody though. I mean, come on, seriously.
Just trying to live and enjoy life.
Exactly. But then you have people who get in these positions who tell them, you are not enjoying life because these people over here are doing this and they're taking from you.
Me personally, I'm not trying to hear that.
you would be a millionaire if you weren't sitting next to Doc because Doc is taking all your millions for himself, even though Doc ain't got two nipples to roll together right now.
That's right. That's what we're getting back to nowadays, even with politics, not to jump to that side, but trying to divide. Everything's going to be a division between different people, different groups, and all that. And it has been working for years, and it still works.
Karl Marx, famous philosopher, said that religion is here to keep poor people happy. They'll be here and they'll get nothing and they'll live horribly, but they'll believe that when they die, they'll inherit a kingdom. Right. So they don't revolt and attack and take all the shit from the rich people. Right. I mean, them weren't his exact words. Right. But yeah, look it up if you don't believe me. It might have been Weber, spelled with a W. But I know it was either Marx or Weber, one of them two said it. Every denomination preaches different philosophies of faith. For instance, Jehovah's Witnesses do not believe in hell. They don't think Jehovah will burn his children to punish them. Christians do. I can feel you on that one. Burning a child to punish them seems kind of like, harsh.
No extreme.
Yeah, that's on the extreme side. That's on the extreme side.
That's what sometimes I try to equate it with kids and parents. Like, what kind of parent would punish their kid for quote unquote eternity because of what they're doing? If you love your kid, if God loves his children, which we all, I think most religions believe that, right? I mean, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Then how can you justify that being the case? How can you justify saying he loves us all, but if you cross him, you're gonna burn for the rest of
eternity?
To me, it's like, whoa.
You dead a whole lot longer than you alive.
Right.
Well, I don't know about that. There is I don't even know what to call it, a disease, but there is something where people who suffer brain trauma, they'll start remembering stuff or they'll turn into different people. Like a guy in California, he was hit in the head and he started speaking Egyptian. Like he was in the hospital and he's speaking Egyptian. Nobody understands what he's saying. And then a rabbi was there visiting somebody and heard him. And he started speaking with him. And the guy's name was son of this, that, and the other. He was a fisherman. And he described places in Egypt to the T. He had never been outside of California. He had never studied Egyptian. I mean, when I was reading about it, there was a guy Asian cat, who was hit in the head with something or fell off of something. And his language would change every 3 or 4 days. He would speak a different language. That goes to the whole Einstein's theory of relativity. Well, no, this theory that says no matter is created or destroyed, it just transforms different. So to me, that kind of means like reincarnation. Like if I have never been to anywhere that speaks a different language, and then all of a sudden I get hit in the head and now I'm speaking it and I'm telling you my name is something different and I can describe somewhere exactly right.
Tells me that you've been there before.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So how did that happen?
That stuff to me is interesting, man, because, I mean, again, another topic for another show, but reincarnation, however you want to look at it,
that's a religion too, really.
Right. I mean, that's just as feasible as a lot of things that people believe in religions, in different religions. So, I mean, who are we to, nobody's going to prove any of it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, the Aztecs were some of the smartest cats on the planet. You know, they were smart as all outdoors, and they were wiped out because they believed in human sacrifices. But who's to say that they weren't right?
Right.
You know, I mean, what makes our what makes our God any better than the God of Ra, or than any other mass group of people's beliefs?
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm not the one who's gonna tell you who God is and what you should do. If you come to me and ask me my opinion on something, I'll give it to you. And Lord, please don't ask me my opinion if you don't want the straight answer, because I don't have filters and I ain't trying to hurt nobody's feelings. But I will tell you exactly what I think about something. Hey, Angie, you late.
That's not on Angie.
Angie, one of my best friends, man. The spades table. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm almost a deity on the spades table. I'm BS. I'm playing, okay. I think it's that you believe in something. God, Allah, Buddha. Exactly. I feel you on that one.
Yeah.
Exactly. There should be some kind, like when people say they're spiritual, no offense, I wonder, what does that mean? What do you follow with that? What's the guidance to your spirituality? Can you say you're spiritual and then go through, go and do some horrendous stuff? Sorry, I was at the movies. What'd you go see? Tell me about it in my inbox later.
No, I was going to say, when I say I'm spiritual, I believe that there's something, you know what I'm saying? But as far as, all the different religions like God,
what makes
Allah,
I feel you on that one.
Like, that's just, like, I mean, personally, I don't believe in.
Do you take portions of any of them? I mean, do you believe in praying?
Yeah, I believe in praying and things like that. I believe there's a higher power, you know what I'm saying? But as far as, like, all the different religions and where it comes from and how they go about it, that's the thing that
you're just skeptical about organized religion, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's kind of along the lines of me, man. It's the people that create the issue with religion. Religion, in theory, to me, is a good idea. It works. It works for a great amount of people, but it's the people in charge that corrupt it. And then they influence other people that are coming up in that religion, and they're corrupted because of what they see from them, and it keeps building like that.
If somebody's like highly religious, can you please explain to me why is it that somebody believes different than you and they gotta die from it? Can somebody help me understand that concept? Because I truly don't. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody, but I don't get that. If you live next door to me and I listen to Ice Cube and you listen to country, I just keep my door closed and not turn it up where it's gonna drown out your music, and you do the same for me, and we ought to be peaceful with that. I don't get why we got to be at odds to where we're trying to kill each other. That's too drastic. What is the age that we speak of? What are the age that we speak of is all one and the same, just different interpretations coming from different men according to their understanding and their interactions with God. I feel you on that one to a certain extent. Angie, that was my nephew Joe. Angie. It's the belief because Allah isn't telling Muslims to kill those who don't believe. I feel you on that one. That's what I was just talking about too. Exactly. Angie, the Quran speaks about love and peace just like the Bible. Yeah, in fact, when people say Islam, that means peace. Like when people say, anyway. Arthur Johnson, or Audie, people like to say they're spiritual instead of religious. Many believe religion is man-made. I agree with you on that one because there are so many different religions. I mean, and again, who's to say somebody's right and wrong? If somebody's over in Africa right now and they're not a quote-unquote Christian, I'm not telling them they're going to hell for that. I mean, who am I to say some old nonsense like that? Let's be honest, religion started many wars. We've been saying that for a minute, Angie. Yeah. When you was at the movies, you missed it. I'm just saying. Hey, check us out. Tell folks about us. And always give us feedback. Our life and bloodline is on feedback from you guys. Thank y'all for participating. We got to go, but before we do, the Talk Show with Divas come on at 4:30 here and at TV 1061 on YouTube. We're follow them at 6:30 here and TV 1061 on YouTube. Watch The Flavor if you get a chance. It's music videos, poetry, so on and so forth. It's on Wednesdays. I'm not sure the exact time. What time, Felix? Say again? 8 p.m. Check it out if you get the chance. And much love, family. I appreciate y'all. And I got love for you. If you know me, then you know, if I tell you I got love for you, I do. So, you know, hopefully y'all will be with me. And, hey, you do a dramatic get back together. Do a dramatic reunion. I'm just saying. If you come to Atlanta, I swear I'll buy a ticket. I'm just saying. You know. Yeah. All right.
Appreciate y'all. See y'all next week.
Y'all.
TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.